Hello, doctor. Please have a seat. Please have a seat. Oh, don't worry about those men on either side of you. They're just here to ensure your safety. Yes, yes. No need to be nervous, doctor. I'm here to talk about your work. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. All right. I'm going to stop you right there. We know all about your work. And even though my superiors don't know your motivation, I have a feeling that I do. Would you like to hear my theory? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm. Well, that's all fine and lovely, Doctor, but you're going to hear it anyway because you're going to want to hear it. Based on your file, all I see is a young man who was horribly bullied, treated badly by his teachers who were jealous of his intellect. No friends, just a couple of mild acquaintances over the years, both of whom, after graduation, just didn't even bother picking up the phone. Yeah. I mean, that happens, but you genuinely thought those two acquaintances were friends. Yes. Well, after graduating, whether it's elementary school, junior high, oh, I guess I should say middle school. Maybe I've dated myself now. Oh well. High school, maybe a lot less with college, but definitely elementary school, middle school, high school. Friends keep in touch with each other. Friends not only have each other's phone numbers, but they use them. Your acquaintances that you thought were friends never even contacted you once after graduation. That's unfortunate. A very intelligent but unfortunate young man being raised by a single mother. She was the only, well, she was your mother. She was warm, she was loving, she was caring, she always encouraged your intellect. Yes, that's what she did. But the problem with mothers, with all of them, even the ones who got pregnant early, yeah, they always outlive us, don't they, doctor? Well, mine is still alive. Yours isn't. Oh, I'm not trying to be harsh. I'm just stating a fact. You loved her, you cared about her, and then she died on you. And everyone always says that stupid cliche, well, death is a part of life. You decided it shouldn't be. Oh, come now, doctor. I mean, your latest experiment? pretty much speaks for itself. As I said, my superiors have no clue what motivated you, but I do. Your assistant, young man, well, maybe not that young, although he certainly looks very young. Yes. His warm, loving mother, paralyzed from the waist down from that car accident, but her mind still sharp. Unfortunately, her body a bit on the elderly side and not very useful, confined to that wheelchair, but her mind still sharp, even in her advanced age. So, I'll just cut to the chase, Doctor. Could you imagine if this story got out? Yes. It doesn't help that your last name starts with the letters FR. You know what they're going to call you, Doctor. Modern day Frankenstein. Only much worse. Much, much worse. You found a young woman, young prostitute, still healthy, no venereal diseases, no real addictions, well, except alcohol. But, yeah, you had a way of fixing that, didn't you, Doctor? So, you paid her. She got in your car willingly, no struggles. You brought her here. You told her, hey, I've got this fetish. And at first, she wasn't willing to do it. That's what I'm willing to bet, but you convinced her. Oh, yeah. How much did it cost you? Well, that's very generous. She probably wouldn't have to work for the next week straight. So she agreed, and as soon as she did, and she was in that very compromising position, you injected her, made her go to sleep. She didn't wake up, and then you set to work. How many hours did it take you, Doctor? How many? Really? I'm surprised. I would have thought it would have taken quite a bit longer. But still, that's not a very short amount of time either. 6 hours. I would have said at least 12. But what do I know? You're the genius doctor. The one who invented a cure for alcoholism. And if you had just stopped there, you probably would have won the Nobel Peace Prize. Yes, Decades ago, they gave it to a freaking terrorist leader, so it doesn't mean much. At least, not to intelligent people, but around the world, oh yeah, winner of the Nobel Peace Prize. I'm sure they would have made up a category for you. Science? I guess it could fit underneath that. Nobel Peace Prize for science, advancing science, whatever the hell they call it. The man who found an instant cure for alcoholism. Very simple. "72-hour treatment. Very easy, 3 little days. No more alcoholism." Your invention, well, not invention, your discovery and enhancement of that discovery with your genius. You could have made the world such a much more wonderful place to live. The man who cured alcoholism. You could have made billions of dollars and been hailed a worldwide hero. You didn't want that, did you? No. You became obsessed with helping your assistant. And your assistant didn't even know it. Oh, doctor. "6 hours. That's all it took." There's that pesky generator again. Well, after all, we are in an underground bunker. Oh, for your safety. So that does tend to happen from time to time, but let's get back to what's important. 6 hours. Prostitute fell asleep, never woke up again. You very carefully removed her brain, her eyes, a few other neural connections had to be removed. And you somehow managed to do that all by yourself. Oh, and your mechanical invention. Yes. That's another thing you could have been famous for. A machine that helps surgeons perform brain surgery 1,000 times better than they could with their own hands. Wow. You could have been the hero of the world. But again, that's not what mattered to you. 6 hours to remove that prostitute's brain, eyes, those neural connections. And then the monstrous part is, for the last few weeks, you had your assistant's mother living in your mansion. You went upstairs. You injected her as well. You brought her down. You removed her brain, her eyes, and a few other things that I'm not too familiar with. Yes. This procedure is above my pay grade, but basically, you put the woman's brain, eyes, all those neural connections into the body of that young prostitute. You kept her in a coma while you performed the 72-hour treatment to get rid of alcoholism. And how did you know that prostitute was an alcoholic? Mm-hmm. 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 I must say, Doctor, that is most impressive. Most impressive. Had her under surveillance for about a month. I'm willing to bet it was longer, but you don't want to tell me, do you? That's all right, Doctor. That's all right. We're all friends here. Maybe you don't realize it yet, but you will. You will. And how was that operation when that poor woman finally woke up? Yes. How was it? Well, I'm sure after the shock wore off and she realized she wasn't dreaming, that it was real, I could just imagine what her reaction would have been. Oh, it wasn't a pleasant reaction. Well, like I said, I can just imagine what her reaction would have been. You seem a little confused, Doctor. Let me break it down for you. You took someone's, well, you basically took their brain, their personality, and maybe even their soul, and you transferred it to a new organic body, a much younger one, a different one. How do you think most people would react, Doctor? I mean, yes, you took basically an elderly woman's mind and eyes and neurons and whatever the hell else they're called. You put it into a new body. I mean, imagine the horror of waking up and realizing you're in a different body, that the face staring back at you in the mirror is not yours. It's younger, it belongs to someone else, and then imagine realizing, obviously you had to tell her what took place. I bet she wasn't too happy with you. The fact that you murdered a young woman in order to give her a new lease on life, in order to give your assistant back his mommy, something you could never have, something that you wanted. The truth is, Doctor, there are many of us out there who want to be taken care of, want to be held, want to be told everything is going to be all right. And we want to believe it. The problem with mommies is that they grow old and they eventually die. And even though they don't want to, they leave us alone in this cold, miserable, harsh, brutal world where no one cares about us. Not the way Mommy used to. Isn't that right, Doctor? Oh, yes. I understand. I understand why you did it. But here's the thing. She was horrified at what you did. She ran off. She jumped from that bridge. Well, I've got news for you, Doctor. We've been keeping a very close eye on you. And when one of our agents saw what took place, he called for backup and we fished her out of the water. Oh no, Doctor. No. That particular mommy is very much alive. She's very angry, especially at you, but she's very much alive. We promise to reunite her with your assistant. That got her to cooperate. She gets her child back. Well, a child who's now older than she is, but you see, Doctor, the people I represent are very interested in your technology. All of it. And we can keep this unfortunate incident covered up. No headlines about Dr. Frankenstein lives. None of that. You work for us. We fund your research. And who knows? Maybe you can give back more adults their mommy. Think about it, Doctor. Think about it.